Remains to be seen if Brandon Aiyuk misses time in training camp. He held up for all of the offseason program. $100,000 fine for missing mandatory minicamp. His salary for 2024, fifth-year option, $14.1 million. That's clearly insufficient. And whatever the 49ers have offered to date is not good enough. I firmly believe that before the draft, he had authority to shop himself via his agent in a potential trade. And, the problem is you got to find somebody who's willing to pay Aiyuk and give the 49ers whatever they would want. It's just too much. And at some point it morphed into the possibility of just trading Deebo Samuel instead of trading Brandon Aiyuk. Neither was traded. The Steelers reportedly were interested in both. I know at one point the Steelers called the 49ers about Aiyuk around scouting combine time and were told he's not available. That changed at some point. Deebo Samuel was available at some point, but it's just too much, too many moving parts. Got to make the team happy, got to make the player happy, specifically as it relates to Aiyuk. With Samuel, you could just trade for the contract, but anytime you trade for an existing contract, you're running the risk that the guy's going to say, hey, I want more, and then you have a problem for yourself. If you're going to trade for Aiyuk, you know damn well you better get him under a new contract because he's not happy. It's like Hassan Reddick. Not that that stopped the Jets, but Aiyuk, don't trade for him unless you do a new contract. The bigger issue at this point is, what can the 49ers get that makes a difference this year? What do you get? You'd have to get a veteran player you could plug and play. What do you want? What would another team give up to get Aiyuk? It makes it tougher once the draft has come and gone, because unless you find a current player that you would happily take on from another team, you're getting 2025 draft picks, one or two or more, who knows? So it's going to be more difficult now for the 49ers to do it. I still believe they were hoping they could hold it all together for one more year. Aiyuk under his fifth-year option, Deebo Samuel at his cap number and the cap number to come next year. George Kittle, he has a restructuring that happened to reduce his cap number. Brock Purdy at $985,000. Talked about him yesterday, how the 49ers should be ready to sign him to a new contract between the end of the regular season and the start of the postseason. But set that aside for now. The issue is, can they hold Kittle, Aiyuk, Purdy, and Samuel together? Oh, and along the way, they took care of Christian McCaffrey, gave him more money, because I think at some point he was going to say, hey, what about me? What about me? Take care of me. So they've done that. What are they going to do with Aiyuk? Trent Williams looking for a new contract as well, reportedly. So I really do think the 49ers were hoping to hold the band together one more year and then figure it out. And it might have been next year. Who knows? Move on from Kittle, move on from Samuel, pay Brandon Aiyuk. The complication from yesterday was that Aiyuk, in a FaceTime conversation with his former Arizona State teammate, Jaden Daniels would later transfer to LSU after Aiyuk was drafted by the 49ers. Aiyuk told Daniels, the 49ers said they don't want me. And I really don't understand that, because I think they would love to have him for 14-1. I think he's referring to after this year. I would suspect the message he's gotten is, we want you at your fifth-year option, and then next year, who knows, tag and trade like we saw with L'Jarius Sneed, or not tag him at all and let him walk away like we saw with Christian Wilkins, and then the 49ers would get compensatory draft pick consideration in 2026. There's different ways they can do it, but if they've decided we're just not going to pay this guy $30 million a year, we'll hope Ricky Pearsall develops, we'll go find somebody else in the draft. This is where the rubber's going to meet the road as it relates to the receiver position. There's going to be a handful of guys who get paid top of the market. Then there's going to be the young guys who are getting paid rookie wage scale, cheap salary, $29 million for 4 years total from Malik Neighbors as the 6th overall pick in the draft. That's a steal for the Giants. And there's going to be the guys in the middle that want more than what the team's willing to pay. And they'll just say, hey, you know what? We're not going to give you that money. We're going to just go get a rookie or two, and we'll replace you that way. And one of the points Chris Sims made when we were talking about Aiyuk as this all first came up, March, April timeframe, you look at Aiyuk highlights, he's wide open a lot. And that may be a product of great offense, great play calling, great teammates. Not that it takes no skill to run your route and get wide open, but it's easier when they're focused on Samuel, they're focused on Kittle, they're focused on McCaffrey. and the quarterback has time to get through his progressions because the offensive line is anchored by Trent Williams. So it could just be that the 49ers making that business decision, and that's what always happens. The fans get emotionally attached. The teams can't. They have to be able to rip the name off the back of the jersey. They have to regard that player as yet another piece in a giant football machine that eventually will be replaced for one reason or another. It's broken. It's too expensive. It chooses to exit the machine on its own. Whatever, it wants to be traded to a new machine, whatever it may be. Every piece in that machine is going to come out and a new piece is going to go in. So when do we remove the Brandon Aiyuk piece in San Francisco, and what do we do with it? That's why I've said this time and again, Bill Belichick had that distance with his players because he never wanted to make it harder on himself to say it's time to move on from this piece of the New England Patriots football machine. So we'll see. Look, it wasn't an accident that Aiyuk put that clip on TikTok. He's trying to agitate. He's trying to make something happen. He's trying to get somebody to trade for him, whether it's the Steelers, the Commanders, or whoever else. The Steelers have been linked to him for a while. He's talking to the Commanders quarterback about this and then putting it out on TikTok. So we'll see if somebody does it. But again, he's in the 5th year of his rookie contract. He could be franchise tagged next year and then maybe traded, long-term contract with the 49ers, or traded and somebody else gives him the contract he wants. Now he reportedly wants 30. Mike Silver, the San Francisco Chronicle, reported several weeks back the 49ers maxed out at 26. So we'll see where this goes. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.